Hi, I'm Laura from Sticks Stones. Is a cork better than a screw cap? Let's actually think about that. Hey Justin, is cork better than a screw cap?
That is a great question. And there's a lot of debate about that. A lot of very contentious points of view, I feel like. And I think it's really a pity because both are great. Let me explain myself. The belief used to be that if wine comes in a screw cap, it must be cheap. It must be worse. It must be like a grocery store wine. If it has a cork in it, it must be fantastic. That is completely untrue. I have a very love-hate relationship with the cork, as I think every sommelier or wine lover does, because of course there are benefits, right? Well, why a cork? Because a cork is a naturally porous and incredibly elastic material, which means you can force it into the neck of a bottle, it expands and creates a perfect seal, while, because it's porous, allowing a very gradual and subtle exchange of oxygen with the wine itself, which, since wines are living creatures like we are, they need oxygen to develop. Otherwise, it would be just reductive. Reduction is something that's become very trendy in the wine world right now. Or I should say over reduction has been very trendy. It's always existed, of course, which means the opposite of oxidation. Reduction is the absence of oxygen, which means you're not getting those exuberant fruity flavors, and you're also not getting those nutty caramelly things that also happen with the gradual oxidation. You're getting more of those, in worst case scenario, sulfury, rotten, eggy, garlicky kind of things. I think that's why I despise over-reduced wines, because I'm allergic to garlic and just makes me sick to my stomach. But you don't taste anything charming in the wine. So if screw caps are just reductive and corks are oxidative, isn't there a better solution? Yes. Of course, we've improved the cork quality immensely over the years. Now we have Diam as well, which are compressed cork and tested rigorously so that there's no threat of cork anymore. A cork tainted wine, TCA, that bacteria that lives in the tree, which in a horribly ironic twist of fate only gets activated when the cork is cleansed to go into the bottle. That's why sometimes you open that beautiful bottle you've been waiting for so many years to open, and as though it smells like a musty old newspaper in grandpa's cellar that's been molding for 10 years. This isn't because the wine is bad, it's because the cork or the tree was sick. Obviously with a screw cap, you don't have that, right? But what do we do about the reduction? Well, with modern science, we've figured out it's not about the cap itself. That is not a thing. It's the membrane inside the cap. That is the key. And they've made so many advancements into the permeability of these little membranes that you can actually select how many grams per liter of oxygen exchange you would like to have per year in your wine if you're a winemaker over the next 5 or 7 years, or even much longer and slowly and gradually if it's a great wine. I mean, study on this, it goes back to the 70s. Like Randall Graham at Bonnie Doon was doing this already with his wines in California and testing them to see how they aged. Of course, before this technology, which made it not always well, because if you suffocate the wine like a person, it's gonna die in the bottle. It's not good. Plump Jack famously released their epic 97 vintage half under cork and half under screw cap. Of course, the Aussies do it, the New Zealanders do it, even for wines that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 euros. So it is not a sign of cheapness in a wine. It was just a clever solution, because think about it. How many cork trees are there in the world? And how many bottles of wine are being produced? I hear stupid justifications from people like, oh, well, but the cork is so romantic. Okay, if you need the sound of a popping cork for a romantic evening with your partner, I think you've got way bigger problems than the cork. Know what I mean? I would rather have a guaranteed clean cork-free wine, which if I'm also going on a picnic or if I'm somewhere else, I don't have to bring a wine key to have to open. Crack, boom, go. And as a professional, if I'm in the weeds during service and I know that the next table I can go like this, bang, ciao, that's gonna maybe save my entire night. Not to mention, why in the heck should a beautiful piece of cork be put into a wine that costs €3.50, which is going to be produced, purchased, and consumed within a year of its life? Why in the hell is the cork even there? Because of your romance? Hey, come on, grow up. I mean, for me, it's about logistics and it's about rationale. But now it's about more than that. It's also about quality. And so now there isn't a true advantage to either. They can both do the same thing. It's no judgment on the quality of the wine. It's more about tradition versus technology. I love both. Cork pisses me off more often, but hey, I do respect tradition. So I like them both. Is that an answer?
Yes, it is. Thank you.